So, last time on Bloodlords, you. Oh yeah, Crow had found a secret entrance, or another secret room with a suspicious altar and a suspicious looking body. Gathering everyone, you guys investigated and found inhabiting the skull was a skull fairy, creature with Fae, and after another close combat, you managed to defeat it. Investigating, you found that the body was dressed in robes dedicated to Zonkuthon, his religion, with an ostentatious key as well. And I think we ended on investigating the tombstones outside of the manor, and you found living underneath the pond was a tombstone troll that attempted to flee after a brief struggle, but you guys managed to kill it in its retreat. And we ended on the party wanting to go to Grey Dirge in order to visit the Temple of Zonkathon in the city.
Yes, and
yes, you guys could go to the Grey Dirge map if you want.
yes,
Actually, before you asked
the
about leave, Crow realized. I realized that actually I removed the train condition from Crow, but since we haven't slept, Crow has never lost the train condition. So as we are about to leave, just like was, instead of whatever Crow said last time, he would prefer to actually go to bed. So
time of the day was it? Or night?
Ooh, you're right.
So, but we slept there, but it took us a couple hours to walk
we
here.
came here. It took us like 1 hour to walk here, right?
Yeah. No. Shorter than that. It's only
okay.
about a mile.
So it took us like 20 minutes to walk here after
so
waking
15
up.
minutes. Yeah.
And then it's been 2 hours, I guess, roughly since then. So
the only way to get a
like
train is to sleep for 8 hours, right?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay.
So, but we've only been awake for 2.5 hours.
Oh yeah. Yeah, then there's like no way. It feels weird, but then again, we haven't been rushed.
wait. So Crow still suggests we go in for sleep?
Not sleep, but chill. He will be fine. Well, there was talk of chilling just because we also missing spells from spellcasters, right?
I don't know. Not from my point of view, but I don't know.
Yeah, when Walker was on for that, I think.
Sorry? If you wanna just chill for the day and do the temple next day. Okay. Always happy to do that. Well, doesn't really matter for me. I'll probably walk around town, see what's up, but I won't go to the temple then. In other words, I'll go around gathering information, by the way. I'll do...
Yeah, fair point. Okay.
I'll probably go about buying this stuff and then find the potions, but since that shouldn't be that little.
Alright, so
I'll head out in 10 minutes then. And I'll heal myself, and then I'll go into my fox form and like fucking sit on this couch for 10 minutes.
Sure. Okay, yeah, so the party splits up. Let's deal with the people who are leaving for the city then. First.
I will also go to the city. There's nothing else to do here.
Okay. Does anyone take the horse with them, or do you leave that stabled? This horse being like an undead zombie steed, it doesn't require any like upkeep or anything. So it's no risk of forgetting to feed it.
Still within the 24 hours. We know that's watching someone else could claim it, right?
Yes. You guys keep with it until the rest of us return.
Well, I was planning on going to the shops, but yes.
I thought you wanted to rest.
Well, rest happens at the night, doesn't it?
If you don't need rest, why don't we go to the temple now?
Well, rest happens at night.
So go to temple in day.
I guess we can go talk. And if it comes to scaffold, then that's a problem. That could be.
Then do not let it go to a scuffle.
Let us do our best. I prefer to talk out my way out of things, anyways.
In that case, Mike grabs the horse because it has the
We are
body on it.
leaving Walker.
Yeah.
Yeah, Walker, do you accompany the group because they decided to head into town anyway, or do you stay behind?
You guys can't make up your mind on anything. Fine, I'll come
I
with
made
you.
up my mind. It's Crow's, not.
Horrible. Yeah, I'll go along.
Sure. By the way, Ian, such a big part of Alcyon is like the emotionless stare.
Yeah,
It's
I know. I was
creepy,
really staring down the camera down there. Don't worry about it.
Oh, you're in character anyway. Nice, that's good to know.
Oh yeah, don't worry about that.
Alright, so the group does decide to head over to the city. It is not that long of a walk, about 15-20 minutes. You arrive, at the gates, no problems being let through. And you guys are trying to immediately go towards the Temple of Zonkathun?
Unless someone stops to do something on the way.
Well, it's up to the rest of us to decide, but I think it makes sense that we first do quick errands. But we can also go to the temple, I don't mind.
I guess it depends to me. Do we know where the temple is in Grey Dirge?
Yes, it is one of the more known buildings in the city. For those, I believe everybody has been here at least long enough to know that it's in the bone scrape. So
Okay.
if you
On the opposite side from where we get.
Yeah, so I assume if we
where-
wanted to do
yeah.
errands, we could do it like before, like on the way. I don't know where, like general.
yeah, most
shopping
of
is.
the biggest market is in the Court of Ghouls, so that would be on the way.
Yeah,
mostly.
on the way.
Okay, let's
Yeah.
do that then.
Yay.
Can we like? I mean, I don't know what like the rules are about it, but like if we, for instance, have like I don't know what level, but like alchemical stuff, and we can't identify it because we can go right to like an alchemist, I guess, and pay someone like a bit to like identify stuff for us, or
Yes, that'll be fine. Greater is level 6 settlements.
Mhm.
Yeah, you
something
guys
tells
can.
me we didn't get. Something tells me we didn't get alchemist supply at level 6.
That's probably a fair point. But yeah, you head over towards the Court of Ghouls, which is the largest market and artisan district. You see around the neighborhood many market plazas. They're covered by roofs of meshed bones and canvas to block out the sun. And as you walk around, you see that most of the residents are ghouls, as per the name. Anyone who's spent longer in the city knows that the Court of Ghouls is named from a period in the city where only ghouls were allowed in the district whatsoever. And you search around for a store, first of all, to sell some items. You find...
What are these brownish things? Brownish dots and stuff, by the way.
Sorry,
Like
which ones?
the brown bludges on the... Like all over the city. Like there's one here, there's a bunch here, mostly, and then there's some two over here and one over here.
The adventure doesn't say. I'm gonna assume that's large swaths of like underground tunnels and houses as well.
No.
For more of the undead population. You find a general store called the Rotting Repository with a ghoul shopkeep, and you are able to. It's like a pretty large open bazaar type place with a lot of shadow. You can just like sell all the treasure is full price. Any other items that you wish to sell is half price.
I don't have any treasure on me, so...
Imagine having treasure.
Yeah, so Crow sells
Crow is
3
the treasure,
platinum
yeah.
vampire fangs for their price.
Yeah, the ghoul shopkeep doesn't give you a second look or anything. He just prices the items and takes them.
Yeah.
Are any particularly nice looking bones for sale?
No, you don't No, you don't see any bones for sale at all, at least at this particular store. So you probably figure that there's not that many skeletal shoppers around.
I wish to see. Osteon is like, he wants to look to see, like when I unleashed my psyche and I saw that kind of cape like come out the bind. I want to kind of see if any if I can peruse an area, if anything catches my eye as something like that reminds me, or that in my mind like it feels kind of almost right, like based on like what I remember feeling or seeing.
Okay. Yeah. Roll me. So would that be a gather information as well? It's an exploration activity. Depending on how you wish to go about it. If you just want to like look, like walk around and like try and spot anything, then it's just perception. Otherwise, if you want to talk to people,
I think I would not be talking to people. I think I'd be.
Alright, then it's just your perception. Yes.
Yes. Okay.
Yeah, you actually do happen to find in a shop not too far away from the Rotting Repository is a shop that is more specialized in clothing, but like not your everyday type wear. You see various hats and even crowns and stuff like that. But on the wall of the shop, you see a couple of cloaks. They're all the same type. And can you roll me an intelligence check as well?
Was it society? I guess I don't think.
Yeah, society, exactly. Sorry, that's the one I was looking for.
Okay.
Roll me society.
Quite the modifier.
All right. Yeah, you have to spend some time thinking back on it, but you figure out these cloaks are blood red with dark lines around them, with the symbol of the Hell Knights on them, of the Hell Knight Order.
Huh.
And
okay.
The symbol doesn't necessarily say anything, but just the shape and the overall appearance of the cloak strikes you as like similar to what you saw and felt when you unleash your psyche.
Okay. Yeah, I will kind of just point to and be like, how much?
That would be. He kind of looks you up and down.
I stare at him.
I don't think you could afford it, skeleton. These are prized possessions. We acquired it from a group of Hell Knights who came here trying to barge in and take order of the place. We taught them the lesson they needed.
I nod slowly. How much?
15 gold apiece. He's looking at you with a smirk.
Can I make a deception check or something to see if he's lying piece of shit or he?
All right, roll me a sense motive.
Yeah, I'll also do that check as well.
Yeah,
I'm just gonna.
always busy browsing other items.
Yeah, I also.
Yeah, sure.
I am in a different shop, right? So yeah.
Yeah, also.
Yeah, Mike could have followed you, I suppose.
Yeah, of course.
He's not doing too much.
Sneaky spying on me, huh? I see.
Yeah, okay, so you're unsure, but also you're staring this ghoul down, and you see he's kind of like his grin is kind of wavering, and you see some semblance of like humanity as his veil appears to crack, and you think he's trying to rip you off for sure. Like he doesn't think much of you.
Like pretty fucking hard ripping off it, right? Like this.
Yeah, exactly. Like he's trying to challenge you, maybe even.
You do not wish to sell.
I can find buyers whenever I please.
Okay, I nod slowly and then just walk away.
Okay. He kind of eyes you, Mai, as you're, standing pretty near. What?
Quite a hefty price for such a little thing.
They're not just any cloaks, as I said.
Yeah, and any any cloaks that people don't really want to walk around with the cloak of the enemies of Great Earth, do they? I doubt you'll have that much hope to selling these at any price at all.
You would consider it a trophy. An artifact, a remembrance.
Maybe in a couple of centuries.
Let's hope. Alright, and he turns away to another customer.
Yeah.
Alright, yeah, so and after your little shopping trip, only takes about, 30 minutes to 45 minutes, you keep on going towards the bone scrape, where you can quickly see over the other buildings, you can see the temple of Zonkathon, which is called the Empty Treshold. Like most of you know that a good portion of the temple actually does extend underground as well, but it's almost like shaped like a pyramid, and the structure, as you get closer, you see it contains like various intentional like architectural defects. You see like roofs that are twisted, and from the staircase that heads up to the main floor, you see that like the steps are uneven and there's bends in it. It kind of almost seems nonsensical. Yeah, but as you get close to the empty threshold and you head up these stairs, you see a large double doors with two like above them. You see like a mural of a screaming, like a screaming crowd around the doors painted on it.
Okay. I'm not sure. Did anyone did someone take like the body off the horse or like?
No, it's on the horse. Fucking going with us. Do I know, Jacko, if this is like a knocking situation or just walking in kind of situation?
You're not sure about the proper protocols. I'm not sure if Mai would ever have been here, but generally, not many people. Like, it's not really the open to visitors type place usually.
Okay. Well, in that case, Mai walks up to the door and just bangs on it. Or knocks heavily.
Yes, you knock heavily, and you have to wait a little while, but you do hear some footsteps after about 20 seconds. And the door opens with a heavy creak, and out you see walks a few steps is a human woman with a hood over her head and like tiny dark spectacles, a thick nose piercing, and various piercings all around. And she slowly like regards the party and the horse that you brought along, like up to the steps, like a body on top of it, and she says, "Who are you?"
I for one is one of the new masters of Kalak Manor. We happened to find a
disciple.
Yes.
Also not a believer.
Of yours. Seeing if he was missing.
Disciple?
Yeah, he's wearing your cloak anyway. As I turn around and turn the horse sideways.
To show the body.
Pick up the body and pick up the body.
We have many disciples who find an untimely fate. But
not all of them must have been infected by a bone fairy, Got an unusual fate.
Infected?
Well, when they...
Well, yes. And I turn head giant fucking hole. Yes, this is not normally how people die, even in these lands.
And not of your doing?
No. I don't usually kill through others.
Mike, can you give me a make an impression check with diplomacy?
All right.
You've been doing most of the talking here. Crow, you can aid if you wish. He is biked up as well.
I do have lied to me, but I'm not currently lying to her over and over again. So
is it? This probably it's gross.
natural 18.
That's a success, so that will be +1. Making it 23. Let's see. Okay. Yeah, she rolls up her sleeves and takes stock of the situation for a moment, and you see that on her arms are she is almost like 2 sleeves of tattoos, and they're depicting beautiful creatures like angels and fairies in terrible pain, just like screaming out, and almost like like Catholic, old school
Black
Catholic
metal.
paintings. Yes, and as she takes that moment, she says, "We will accept the body, my thanks." And she starts, going for it to grab it and drag it inside.
I let her and try not to have other disciples come to Manor in the same state. I doubt
We
they.
would like to know, or at least I, if you do find out how they came to that conclusion.
Or at least why the hell they came to our manor. We'd rather have it not happen again.
Yes, it's true.
I'll inform our head priest of the proper proceedings in this matter.
No,
Why, thank you.
you know where to find us. Quite easily.
That I.
Yeah, you get the impression that
that
she's quite businesslike, but also she seems especially curt. Maybe that's her personality. Maybe it's something else. But yes, she drags the long dead corpse inside and closes the door, and you guys are left by yourselves back on the steps.
I turn around and start walking away with the horse.
A shot at unexpected.
I don't know what else you expected to happen, to be honest.
You think it is unwise to mention the key?
Yes.
Oh,
Then what will we do with it?
Let's see how this unfolds for now. They are planning to do some proceedings, right?
Perhaps.
Well, think about it. If it's something important, and we tell them, they'll simply take it from us. If it's important and we don't tell them, they'll either.
The body was there for 2 years. Us keeping it will not make stuff change faster.
2 years?
At least the body was.
Sorry, between 1 and 2 years.
Yeah, yeah.
A year or two, yeah.
At least
a
year, possibly.
Might have not known where the body had disappeared to. They may not have known where he went.
Didn't know that was that old. But still. They could have been looking for it back then, but given up.
In which case they would know we have it anyway. And us asking questions would not change the fact. But if they were unaware, and they knew information which could prove useful, we would gain it. Either way, they know we have it. Why does us showing it make a difference?
Because if we show it, they'll feign ignorance.
And then what is the harm in this case? If they already know we have it, us specifically asking does not hurt.
They'll feign ignorance, that it's important for them, but not for us.
That does not matter. We would not give it.
They'll make a problem out of it. I'd rather have them make a problem with us on open ground than in front of their damn temple.
They have a lot more authority here than we do. We should move careful in this matter. And that's my set. This is not the greatest place for a scuffle. Even diplomatic kind.
What do you want to do? Do you want to spend some more time in the city? Do you want to start
I'm
heading
gonna
back to the map?
check on some more. Maya's probably gonna stick in the city. She's gonna have some, like, if someone leaves for the manor directly, she's gonna let them have the horse to take it back. As for my, she's probably just gonna go around, look for, and listen to rumors and shit like that.
I'm just gonna go first and find like his gun buddies or the people that sell gun stuff. And
Yeah, this would your connection to the underground gun market would be in the meat market, where a lot of the human population resides. But but as you've already established contact, you could merely find them and buy whatever you need. There's no further.
After doing that, he probably also listens to rumors, which we know already. He probably does it on that side of things, the human side of things.
Are you trying to like talk to people, Mai, or just like trying to sit in the bar, like listen to other conversations? What do you want to do?
She'll do a bit of both. I feel like she'll be in some bars, like talking to people, make people drunk. She can't really get that drunk, and then, or at least it's harder for her to get drunk. And then occasionally she would just turn to a fox and walk around and listen into conversations and stuff.
Okay.
But mostly talking, I think. She's...
Yeah. So give me secret diplomacy. Yeah, you spend some time. You spend some time talking to people and generally trying to figure out if there's any like rumors going around about interesting topics. And you actually do hear a couple interesting things. Yeah, maybe it's because like you've heard of. There's been talk of like gangs making trouble, around Grey Dirt, for example, with the farm. But you do hear someone saying like, "It's amazing that the Bone Shards gang can keep such a low profile, given how many people in Grey Dirt they've done jobs for." Backstabbed. I never actually believed they were fetchlings, creatures of Hall Shadow. But maybe it's true. How else could they stay so well hidden? And the conversation, as you listen in on it, goes a little bit further about some minor deeds they've done, but the people don't seem to know much more. And another person that you talk to yourself mentions the empty Treshold and the leader of it. It's a person called Ortagar Stitchskull, and the man talking says that Ortagar works very hard to ensure that he doesn't become too powerful or too popular, attracting enough notice, and the celebrants might commandeer the fancy temple, or the Boulders League might decide to plummet for ancient secrets. Can't say I blame him. Getting bloodlords involved in your business isn't ever good.
Private?
And would I be able to do any roll for like the
private,
fledgling,
yes.
the fledgling comment?
Give me society.
Society. Oh, why do you do this?
Mai, you're unsure about what fletchlings are. The only clue you have is what they said about being
They seem to be very sneaky.
Half Shadow, yeah. Ooh, Crow, yes, you also find some interesting information on people's tongues. Like, there's a general hubbub about the general state of the city, and you actually find a group of like around 5 humans gathered around, which is near the maximum that is allowed, to congregate in the streets for the quick. You see like an older woman talking, and she says, "The return of Gab to the public eye may his undead bring lasting pain and suffering to all. It's cause for much celebration, but it's certain to bring some upheaval as well. Politics between the brothers have been wrought up to unprecedented levels for certain." As she kind of looks around, like, nervously. Yeah, walking around, you find like a man, like also an elderly man, working by like a stall. And as you strike up conversation, he says, "Food and drink are getting pricier the harder to come by in Grey Dirge. Just another way for the quick to suffer in Gab, I suppose. I heard someone was doing something about it. It's a particular group, and that's great. We really need more people like that around." But as you ask more about this group, he doesn't seem to have more information in particular, but just that there's a sentiment that there's protests or like there's activism happening to help the living people of Gap.
Do by the way like the quick treat since Dampies are generally considered undead. Do quick still treat them as undead more, or do are Dampies kind of in the middle?
It depends. Like usually the quick in Gap treats you relatively the same as you would be treated outside of Gap, with a mixture of like fascination and fear. Sometimes leaning a lot to one side, sometimes leaning a lot to the other, sometimes a mixture.
Yeah, Crow generally gives him medicine out back to these people that he understands their their suffering and whatnot.
Their suffering. Yeah, okay. Yeah, you actually like as you maybe involve yourself in this previous conversation with the larger group, you do manage to like calm down the nervous vibe in the air, and people sort of calm down, and they after a little while they spread and disappear off the streets. Okay, and after a while, you guys head back to the manor, or
yeah. After a while, Maya has her fun. She turns back into a fox, which is more natural to her now with the heavy armor that she's still a bit too heavy. Yes.
Okay. Osion, I believe you have been given charge of the horse. What do you do?
What? I've been given charge of the horse? What do I do with the horse? What do I do in general, sorry?
What do you do in general, I guess, yeah.
I guess I'll probably just head back to the manor quite soon after we leave the temple. I'm sure I can take the horse with me.
And Walker, you join him, or do you want to do something other than that?
Join him.
Yeah, you two head back. Once you get back, obviously a little earlier than the other two, you see that the hand, Archon the Annihilator, is extremely ambitious and busy with his cleaning duties. You get the sense that if he was this zealous before, this place would have been long clean, of course, because you encountered him covered in spider webs and dust. But as you head back, he doesn't seem to have much time for welcoming you. You just take a rest in the manor, and after a couple of hours, Mai and Crow, you also return, and you gather in the study, or like the study with the fireplace.
Yeah, Maya sits down in one of the chairs. Relaxes.
Well, everyone's here now. So, seems that what is that we want to do as a group? Yes, is the next question. We have now kinda been bound together by this manor and all that has happened. What is our goal? What do we want from everything?
Grey Dodge by itself doesn't really satisfy me anymore. I just need more to happen. More to feed. Whatever come will come. I don't really see an opportunity right now to do anything, though. Though the gangs are making moves in the town. Things are happening.
Do you know names? I heard some things about. Apparently, there's some group of individuals that are giving the quick a lot of food and drink, more than they normally I would scrounge up. They seem very thankful of this group.
From my understanding about people has been talking a bit about the empty Threshold and Ortega Stitchgull, which I'm guessing is the leader of the empty
Yes.
Threshold. Yeah. He does great work for them to not catch the eye of the Bloodlords. It makes me believe that they have more capabilities than they show, but unless we hear something more or learn any more about this key, there's probably not much we can do with that. As for it was also the Bone Shard gang seems to have caught the eye of the public more than usual. Some people may think they are fledglings. Not that I'm entirely sure what that is.
I can roll for those gangs and the fetchlings. Like, to know what he knows about this.
Sure.
Guess one gang, but yeah.
Yes,
Like a player's a
you.
fledgling, right? There's a
Let's
player
see.
race.
Yeah.
It's a player
Well,
race.
not
Yeah.
common.
Yeah. Okay, you're not sure about the gang name, the Bone Shards. You've heard of, various gang names around Grey Dirge. This one doesn't spring to mind immediately. It was surprising because you do know. Oh, sorry, yeah.
I do remember the beast knowledge. Just as a general reminder.
Yeah. No, yeah. So you know that. Yeah, you have a pretty good understanding of most gangs in Grey Dirge, but this one is probably, because you haven't heard of it, probably not very high level.
Okay.
But which would be surprising, because fetchlings, to your understanding, are like people that are long descended from like generations of like humans that were trapped ages ago on the shadow plane. They have like complex societies in the shadow plane and like a civilization, and so they're pretty rare, in on the normal plane.
Material plane.
On the
That
material
is
plane,
quite
yes.
curious. Then I have not heard of this gang, although I've heard of multiple gangs in this area in the short time I've researched on this. But what's making it curious is that fetchlings would rank as slightly more powerful creatures than your average mortal. They come from the shadow plane of shadows, are quite rare and rarely over here. They used to be humanoids. Well, they are humanoids. Used to be humans that were trapped on the plane of shadows, have their own civilizations and whatnot over there. Fascinating creatures. But the fact that they're involved with the plane of shadows makes this interesting.
Well, they seem to specifically talk about them normally being very good at keeping a low profile. It's possible that they're not entirely well known between to people they haven't had direct business with, but they seem to have done quite a lot of work here in Great Edge, from what I could gather.
That is always possible. Not everything goes to public knowledge. I do not have that many contacts in the city that, well, would know the most private dealings. Curious though, I think they might be involved with. There's a possibility that they're involved with our old dead friend that we found in the cellar, considering the connection to the plane of shadows. But for now, it's a little bit of a long stretch.
Not impossible. More to keep in mind, But I do feel that something's brewing in the city. I'm sure it's only a matter of time before it boils over.
Yes, that is partially why I came here. Well, I didn't know specifics, but I figured things should happen in Gap sooner or later.
Well, unless we have anything else specific to talk about, we'll do. I think I'll spend the next couple of days at least until someone says something, and looking around for something fun to do in town as I normally do. And my would actually just walk back to her room and.
You can also probably be around the town for most of the days. Time to have some rest.
Okay, you guys rest for the night in your own ways.
Tom, you can't open doors.
I can't. I wish. I make the thingy.
What thing? You make the door a ghost?
Make
a ghost door. I have to wait 10 minutes before I can
What is it? Is it like an item or like what's the wording on it? Yeah, I don't think you can open doors with that ability, Walker.
I mean,
maybe you can like
I don't see why not. Doesn't say anything.
Yeah, well, it says an item.
What's the actual
right? I'm pretty
wording?
Sure.
Yeah, those aren't items. Those are like.
Yeah, items are like specific
Door,
smaller
not an
things.
item.
I think it's structure actually.
Yeah, sure. Those are structure. Structures are items.
I disagree.
You could like make the doorknob ethereal, but then it wouldn't no longer be connected to the door.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. It's why it's the whole door.
You
No,
could
I'm gonna
also ask
say.
someone to remove your door, and then they would maybe do that.
Just remove the entire door, It's fine.
This is silly, though.
Okay, for now I'll say you can like this door is made out of like wooden parts. You can like have like one of the larger planks. You can like connect with that, like squeeze yourself into your own room without having to beg for help. Ocean, do you remain in the study? Ian, you here?
Ian, you moved.
Sorry, I'm just transferring over to the computer at the same
okay.
time, but I was listening. Yeah, I mean, some point in the conversation where they were talking about gangs and all that shit was also kind of like just went to the nerd state without anyone noticing.
Okay, yeah. You just shut down her. Okay, yeah, and you guys, you wake up, and not long after you start, you're ready to get on with your day. You actually hear outside a large amount of like hooves coming nearer and nearer to the manor.
I guess we have visitors.
Yeah, and as you head for the outside, you see.
I moved the fucking horse.
You see, like almost like rushing, like in a fast speed, a zombie steed-drawn carriage. With a very nice carriage. It is no one's like actively steering it. It seems like, but it does come to a stop about like 30 feet from the front door, and the zombie horses that are like carrying this carriage and pity the horse that you guys own now are just like regarding each other. When one of the doors of the carriage opens, and see jumping out is the smaller halfling form of Berlin Haldoli, the Bloodlord. And she gives you guys a wave as you guys.
Berlina, what do we owe the pressure for?
Oh, hello, guys. Well, don't be too surprised. One of the perks of being the only Bloodlord in Raiders is that any bit of significant news reaches my ears in short order. Sure, some people might try to kill me, but all the rest scramble to please. I came here because I heard that you had cleared out your manor, which is, of course, worthy of celebration. May I visit for a housewarming party?
Of course, come in. We'll
Beautiful.
have the servant prepare us some quick food.
Just one moment, please. And oh, don't worry about the food. I have that covered. And she walks over towards the back of the carriage, and later
That
appears
is honestly better probably for the best.
She appears with like for her almost like an oversized basket, and follows you in to the manor. Kind of like.
What's the name of our servant? Can't remember. Grow.
The Annihilator! I forgot what his
yeah.
actual name is.
Argon the Annihilator. Let me.
Come prepare dishes. We have quests.
Yes.
Quests.
You also have quests, but.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know if it was the mic that made it sound like quests there, but
I'm really bad at pronouncing those two words. Different. This could be either.
Argon pops out of the kitchen and says, "Oh yes, I'll prepare. I'll set the table right away."
They brought food, so you don't need to prepare anything for that.
Well, I'll set plates and forks and knives. Oh, what food? Doesn't matter. We have plenty of cutlery. Yeah, as he heads back.
Oh, I guess we'll walk with Ballerina.
And she's like, "Oh, you guys have prepared the kitchen. Well, if you don't mind, I can investigate and give you some remodeling tips. A good house starts with a good kitchen."
This is most certainly true.
food is always good. My brother's called me, so.
Okay.
Of course, I will lead you there, and you can have a say. We haven't had really that much time to think about decorating yet.
Okay. Yeah, she spent some time, for anyone who was willing to like listen, going over to the kitchen and like give you various instruction on how to actually like reorganize and clean up, taking a while. So about 10 minutes go past after she's like, "Oh, of course, the food." And once you guys head back over to the dining table, Argon has set the table with the various silver dinnerware and cutlery. Berlin opens the basket, and out she grabs various packages. That almost seems like lunch boxes, and sets it like out in front of most of you. Walker and Crow, you guys. Podrick is on the phone. Oh, he's back. Hey, okay, so so you guys gather Podrick in the dining area. Table set, and she brings out like almost like lunch boxes, like packages, and sets it down in front of you. Walkers and Crows, you guys have like prepare like a dinner, almost like rice with meat, but it's mainly just like very like red meat. Ostion, once you open your package.
Walker got that?
Oh no, sorry. I mean Crow and my. Ostion, once you open your package, you see there's like just like a pile of dust in it, seemingly, but you're familiar with it enough that you can quickly surmise it's bone dust.
Bone meal?
And,
which one?
Yeah, like ground down bone. Yeah. So I guess it would be bone meal, you're right. After everybody's opened their package, Walker, you're left without one, and she kind of looks at you sheepishly and says, "I was actually all out of the Feast of Hungry Souls, I'm afraid. That was quite a one-time experience. But I brought you something, a housewarming gift."
Said there would be more.
I'll keep you up to date. Anyways, you won't be too disappointed. I aim to please. And she, with a smile, she brings out like a wine glass set of 4 glasses, and they you are familiar with this brand of wine glass. They are actually from Absalom. Maybe your parents owned one once upon a time, and she says, I am unsure of how you actually use one of them, but at least it'll be pretty to look at, right?
Yeah, sure. Good enough.
Good enough. I'm so happy to hear it. And, then she turns her attention to you, Ossian, to see if you've done anything with this bone meal in front of you.
Lord, it's no.
No, shut up.
Bone meal. Maybe like bones that I have like kind of cracked. I almost like kind of like just like push it inside the cracks and it's like kind of like grip hard and kind of like almost try like infuse like the broken bones I have in some places with the bone meal kind of thing. Or is
Okay.
it just, like,
Urinating
patch up them?
Yeah, seeing you do this, she said, "Oh, I really expected it to go into the mouth, even though it probably has nowhere to go, of course." Well, anyways, study is over, of course. We do have some business to attend to concerning the task I had set out for you. Now that she kind of like straightens her back and her smile disappears, and she says, now that the farm is safe, I did an investigation of my own. I headed over there with some of my experts, and you're right, we did indeed find evidence of tampering. Interestingly, the material that you showed me, the tremor paste, wasn't the only poison that we had found. The actual grains were infused by something else, called brain grit. It's another... it's not very strong either. It has mild side effects. My alchemists are doing some study on it, but...
You think it does something worse when combined with the other?
That's the fear. Otherwise, I don't understand why someone would bring both those ingredients towards a food supply.
That could be easily, I guess, an idea I have is that you could easily hide the fact that's being tampered with that way, right? Say, people just assume that this food isn't of bad condition, since it has mild side effects.
Perhaps. Right now we're acquiring some live stock to test out the various poisons and see what they do, with a mixture of them. Anyways, it is clear that there is tampering going on, and that we require further investigation. The gang that you spoke of, I had people ask around, my people. There's been some sightings of cloaks bearing the same symbol, but only around the governor's quarters, and nothing major, nothing that would stand out. So...
Well, it would be easy to hire a small duo to do your job. Easier to hide that way.
Yes, whoever's behind it, they're proving hard to find than I hoped. Well, now that my farm is clear of danger, at least things can get back into working order, so I do still thank you for that. I hope that the manor is, now that it's back in, living conditions, that it is a worthy gift.
Yes, there were surprises here, but we dealt with them.
Well, every good house has some skeletons in their closets.
And we even left one, and then glancing quickly at Oscar. I do really enjoy the roof, though. I have no idea what to make of it, though.
Oh yes, that's quite a nice touch. You don't see that very often in Geb, which, would surprise you, but it's relatively rare material, I believe.
And this might be useful for the investigation, but also useful for us in the future. You wouldn't have to know how to use a scrying pool now, would you? Because there's a
Scrying
giant
pool?
one downstairs, apparently.
That is usually the Department of Divination and Magic. Well, obviously useful, information is power. I go by it different ways. I am more the necromancer.
I see.
But
And my powers are more gifted than actually used.
why, do you wish to scry? Where does this question come from?
It's more that it seems like a waste not to be able to use it. It seems like a fun thing to have.
Well, what I do know is that those knowledgeable in the magical ways, once they study a scrying pool for a longer period of time, there's usually a activation associated with a password of some kind that allows you to tap into a scrying pool. Of course, before that works, it has to be set in proper working order. So if it's unfinished, you're out of luck.
At this point, we only know it's magical. I guess we'll have to figure the rest out.
I'm sure
Be
we can
careful
find a way to do that.
if you do have a scrying pool, there's probably ways that other people can look your way as well.
I guess as much. Well,
If they can look this way, would they be able to see, well, where the scrying pool is?
I'm afraid I'm not sure. You would think it would be only what the pool would see, but it wouldn't be very useful in that case, so I'm not sure.
Do you know any experts on the matter of divination or shrine pools that happen to be around Grey Dutch?
There's various bloodlords that specialize in such things.
But
Not in Grey Dutch,
you are the
though.
only Bloodlord around here.
Yes. And let's keep it that way.
Gross miles back.
Well, is there anything else? Otherwise, tight schedule.
well, if you have come across something of interest that you require aid with, then please do tell.
Of course, as I
But
said
other than
before, now that you're out of the claws of the city walls, I believe we can keep this relationship prosperous in the future. Gives you a wink.
I do so hope so.
Okay, yeah, and she stands up and says her goodbyes and starts making her exit.
She'll essentially take the opposite of what Crow did and like walk her out. Like be
Okay. Anything you guys are planning on doing?
my having her interest in the scrying pool rekindled by more or less herself, remembering it existed, would spend a couple hours looking around the pool and trying to figure it out as much as she can. Even though her
Okay.
magic is very limited, it's still maybe default was occult
Oh,
strength.
now
or
you
something.
like walk now, go through these rules. Wait a second, you can't even do that.
No. So she did say that you needed to be divine spellcaster, which my technically is, even though
She said that? Oh, I think it does.
Yeah.
She said spellcaster.
No, yeah, she's a.
it was
magical
divine in
ways.
nature, like the scrying and whatnot.
Oh, sorry, maybe I misspoke. I meant like divination.
Yeah, he did. You said divination, not divine.
Oh, divination,
okay.
divine. Okay,
You
never
did say
mind then.
I mean, scrying itself, I think is. I'm not sure. I think it's simply not divine as a spell.
I'm gonna walk along, like checking the walls of it, on my finger along the murky bloody waters of the.
Okay. Yeah, you spend some time, but you quickly find out this is a bit beyond your knowledge.
Yeah.
It is in fact like something that spellcasters would be more like attuned to.
Yeah, but it's not like straight up broken anywhere, right? From what I can visibly see.
Yeah, give me a perception check.
Sure thing. Broski.
No, not that you can figure out. It's a bit distracting with all the writhing mass of flesh, but no, you don't find any obvious defects.
Oh, okay. In that case, you would return back up, I suppose. Bit defeated, but.
Right, so Mai, you spent some time in the basement. Anything else? Anyone else want to do something immediately?
I guess
she's
also
doing this.
continues doing what he's done for, like, like a few weeks. He's been great. Just like go around, kind of just trying to find out information about like necromancy and resurrection and undead who's coming into existence and that kind of stuff.
Yeah, interestingly, as you start leaving Ocean, like almost outside of the gated area, when you spot what at first glance appears to be a bird, and it is, however, it is purely skeletal. It doesn't have any feathers or anything, and in its mouth is carrying something. You're not sure, but it's heading straight for the manor. Like it crosses your path and heads straight like behind you.
Like into the door of the manor, or like directly. Okay.
Yeah,
I mean,
like
can I see
towards
what
the
it, can I
front
see what
door.
it's I mean, how close is it getting me? Can I see what it's carrying in the mouth?
Roll me a perception check.
Blind, I guess. This button.
Mm-hmm. It's carrying a live grenade. No, it's it's carrying some form of parchment. Yeah.
Okay.
Message for you, sir.
If it like starts to fly past me, I try to just in case the bird like fucking notices. I don't know what the bird. I try to like raise my hand and almost like beckon it over just to see if it comes.
It doesn't. No, it keeps flying.
Yeah, it's fine. Then I turn and just like I mean, I'm probably like just outside the so I just like walk back towards like the direction, just follow it.
Okay, yeah, you head back into the garden, back to the front door. The others, you guys suddenly hear a lot of hacking at the door. Like tick, 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 tick.
Yet another visitor. My! Crow shouts down the stairs. My hears. We have another visitor.
Tell him to fuck off.
Okay. Yeah, as Crow, you're heading towards the front door. Okay.
Yeah.
It's like
Yeah. You've got up to the bird at this point. You see, like repeatedly, like back into the door, unaware or like seemingly unaware of your presence.
I try to just like reach out and grab the bird.
Alright. Yeah, like it's almost like robotical in its nature. So yeah, you could just sense a pattern and like grab it without much difficulty.
Crow would open the door as soon as he got.
It's like
door.
squirming.
Call a bird from the sky, holding its prize. Yeah, I just like as I'm like holding one, I just kind of like pry the note from it and like the other,
All right. Yeah, you pry the note. Yeah, it is. It's just like it's not a sealed letter or anything. It's just a note with quite fancy handwriting in dark red font. And yeah, I can.
Not ink, in dark red font. I guess kind of font.
A grudge.
Yeah, the dark red ink.
I eat the letter. But the sad thing is, nothing happens when I eat it. It falls at the bottom, then you can read it again. I just like pass it on to Crow. Just like
The letter. Well,
Certainly envious, eh? What a title. Or greeting, whatever.
It seems that we have yet more business and things are going along. Do you two have any urgent matters? Or if Mai is ready with her team, can we depart immediately?
Yeah, nod.
Oh, I'll go check with her. She seemed busy at least when talking about more visitors. Croden walks downstairs.
And you just see Mai like really frustrated that she can't figure anything out with this fucking pool. She's like pacing back and forth between the and looking at the stone. Did you tell him to fuck off?
Well, that wasn't really required. It was just a message bird with a message for us.
No.
Invitation. It seems that things are going along. Not in the way I expected necessarily, but they are chopping along.
What the message say?
Uh,
What invitation? To what?
Check it out yourself.
Dinner? Nice. She like grabs let's just walk past you and she's reading.
Yeah, Crow starts
Yeah,
behind him.
Well, we're meeting Aura. We seem to be going to meet Ortegal faster than I thought.
Yes, not quite for the reasons we were planning to, but
I suppose so. What information about the farm business?
yes, he did not mention the other matter, but I'm sure we can talk with him about that.
Yes. Nor do I know what I trust this man as far as I could throw when it comes to fellow friend of the Blood Lord with his.
Well, I wouldn't trust anyone in the city.
Oh yeah, very bad idea.
Anyway,
everyone else is ready. With you coming along this night like this, I assume you are as well.
Sure. Nothing better to do.
Oh, indeed.
Seems that I take it the pool discovery didn't go that well.
No, it's more the pure magic users' business dealing with those kind of things.
That is what I gather from Berlina.
My magic just kinda happens with.
I'm sure Walker Austin can figure it out eventually.
You hear, like, as you talk of this, you hear the Argon speak up. Just, the pool, yes, dirty business, vile. I have gazed upon it, and I believe it should be cleaned. What do you think, masters?
Cleaned? What do you mean with that?
You mean remove the internal organs and cleanse it to actually have just water instead of murky blood?
Indeed. Well, unless you wish it to be...
Induced, to be clear.
No. In fact, I bring this up with many of my previous masters, and they've always wanted it the exact same state. However...
Did any of your previous lords use it in the bloody state? To scry?
Yes, they did. And I never seemed to investigate too closely how, but even my previous master, the painter, managed to scry into it.
Was he a spellcaster?
Not of any power, at least.
But he still was one. Well, we would like to keep it the way it is for now until we understand it further. If we deem that the organs and such are not necessary for its function, then sure, it can be cleaned. Let's noise it that way.
I see. Fair point.
I'll give it a look at some point soon. I feel like it.
It was worth the effort, the returns. Right, and you guys depart for the city yet again?
Yup.
And yes,
I do
it's
understand
around-
his point. The pool is quite distasteful.
Oh, horrible. But if it's necessary for function,
Kind of
that's-
undead are you? Fucking disappointing.
the
I
thing
like
is,
things clean. At least
Why do
in
you
my
think
day
it
to
is
day.
necessary to function?
I didn't know if it's necessary to function, but it seems no one else has wanted to clean it. So,
And they used it like it, without it being clean.
Yes, may function, but maybe it functions with a band.
perhaps, but since we aren't sure how it functions, I believe it's safer to leave it like that for now until we know for sure.
I feel like it would be quite a pain to restore it, filling it with new organs and whatnot.
That would require some work, yes. I think
I'd,
we should.
I'd rather just eat them instead of placing new ones in the pool.
It is convenient that we can dispose most of the body very easily if we want to.
Anyway,
So, before we get inside the manor, now that we are still on the road, we should probably establish a common thought on the matter. What do we want to say and what we do not want to say on various matters. Just so that we do
My
not
drugs.
come up. Just so that we come up as a coherent group.
what do you want to
Are
say?
we?
Well, it's better we look that way, at least to the outside, than even if we aren't that internally. Looks more powerful and more competent. Anyway, it's just a matter of what do we mention and what not mention. I still think we didn't mention the keys. But we could establish, say, secret message to one another, where if everyone agrees that we mention them, then we mention them.
Why must we all agree to it?
Well, maturity. Would that be fair?
Kind of look around there for.
No, 3 of
That would
us.
mean, that means 3 of them would be enough, wouldn't it? That's a majority of a.
If it is a draw, why do we choose a side of the two that wish it to be hidden? You wish to hide it. If 2 wish to hide and 2 wish to show in this draw what happens.
Matter we should probably resolve. But how do we resolve draws and decisions? I think maintaining the status quo is usually a decent.
Because you wish that to be the side you are.
Well, I hope that
Might
I
not
know.
always be the case.
Yes, by a small talk in general. In this case, right now, yes, it does benefit the side I'm on, but not necessarily always.
Walker, what about you? What do you think about the key? You wanna show it to the master of the one who we found it with?
I like some secret. I think we should keep it a secret. Let him speak. Him reveal how much he knows.
He seems like a talkative sort.
Oh, yes,
Well, I sure hope, yes. I get a feeling that he likes the sound of his own voice.
I'm sure we can have him talk more.
I should probably reiterate that he is the one that was trying quite hard to keep a low profile, or at least to keep the empty threshold in a low profile.
It's also very curious that he contacts us and not Berlin. That's so.
That is true.
It's strange.
But that gives us opportunity, so I am not dissatisfied with that. But depending on what we hear, we do need to make quick choices, as Berlin seems to hear things quite quickly around these parts. So
I don't think we will be able to keep a secret.
Oh, we definitely
there,
will not be able to keep
but,
us being there a secret.
Oh yeah, most definitely.
yes,
But the conversation.
my point being that
Well-
if it comes down to at some point choosing a side, and not revealing or revealing Christian Berlin, that would be beneficial to her. Then we need to make decision whether we do want to do so or not.
Well, would it depends on the information, wouldn't it?
Yes, of course.
If it's not beneficial to us to tell her, why would we?
This is true. But I'm just saying that at some point there comes a point where we need to pick a side with or against her in these matters.
Mai would take a couple of steps if she's a bit in front of you, and I'm eternally only on one side, and that would be my own. Whether or not if I'm with, I'm neither with or against her. I will simply do what is most beneficial to I.
I believe that is how most people act. But
Oh, you would be
allies are
surprised.
quite useful.
Wait, what did you say? Sorry.
But allies are quite useful.
They can be. Depends on the sacrifice you would need to take to keep them.
Natural.
Yeah, while you're traveling, you're having this conversation. Anything else you guys wish to discuss before you reach the empty threshold?
So do we? Oh yeah. Do we have a secret mark, or do we just keep it? For now, we do not mention this in this meeting at all about the keys.
Keep it secret.
Ah,
That's
that's
fine.
It will
Well-
not be too late to talk about it later with him, I suppose.
That is true. Let's keep it secret for now, then I guess.
Worst case scenario, he has straight up tells us we have it.
That is something we should prepare for in our heads.
The empty thresholds is quite easy to find. You head back up to the uncomfortable steps, mining.
Yeah, we wouldn't bring the horse now, by the way. It's already ours.
Fair, yeah, you don't make it suffer any more than that, so that's kind.
Do we even take the horse with us? I guess we do.
No, we don't take it with us at all. We don't have a reason
I
to.
mean, okay.
Or at least I don't bring it at all.
Crow would probably leave it on just because it's useful to have around.
It's gonna so fucking nicked one day in the city.
Yeah.
Get a bike lock for that shit.
Yeah, I mean, assuming the city does have like places to
Bike
not bike locks, but
Horse locks.
they're fucking things you can tie horses on and whatnot.
Yeah, just gotta someone doesn't untie it.
Yeah.
No, we have
I mean-
a combination on it.
I do have manacles, by the way.
Commanded to bite anybody who's not us who tries to take it, you know.
That would work. Both ideas. Alright, but in any case, you arrive without the horse. You head back up to the doors. And you knock, I assume. Yes. After another short while, the door opens and you see the same face that greeted you before, accompanied by two other seemingly women. Let me give you some art for them. They are
Seemingly women, yep.
quite...
It's just like I said.
Yeah. You know, I don't want to judge or make presumptions. Yes, you see that all of the you recognize these are probably acolytes of Zonkathon, and all of them wear like black leather garb, and they have like a dagger at their hip that is very heavily serrated.
Expecting us this time, I hope.
The one in front says, Indeed, my name is Yigevka. Please follow me. And yeah, as she turns around and the other
Okay.
acolytes follow at both their sides. Yeah.
So as we like are being led through, walking through, I'm Ossion's very kind of like looking out to see if I ever like see any sort of like strange keys, like either on desks or like kind of indoors or like the other side where you would actually lock it to kind of look not necessarily even like the same sort of two-pronged handling, but maybe anything that looks almost like self-sacrificial. Like like that, like spike handle, or like similar to that, or like serrated blades, or anything.
Yeah,
of that
give
kind
me
of vibe.
give me a perception check. Well, so all of you see that the two acolytes that are at the side of the one who spoke, Higevka, they have fresh scars around most of their limbs. And yeah, like looking at the walls and the ceilings and doors, you figure that the same architectural design is taken into account for the inside of the building. You see like twisted hallways that come to a sudden stop almost, and yeah, you see like grimacing skulls and twisted sculpture lining the like various alcoves. Also, you don't particularly see any sacrificial items or anything like that until the trio stops in front of one like a small door. You haven't been led through the hallways that long. She opens the door and leads you into a room that's quite simple and small. You see like a bucket of water in the corner, and like a design that you recognize as to be one of Zonkathon's symbols on the floor, engraved. And she turns around and says, "Before you meet that priest, we must do the proper rituals. Please tell me, do any of you follow the Dark Prince?"
I already have a pale princess to follow.
No.
I do not. I do not.
But not fully.
Stick to
Maybe
any
one
dark
day I'll
spot
fully.
buttons.
But perhaps you will appreciate the ritual. It would be an honor to the temple if you would share in our pain and misery in this house.
Can I roll something to know about like Sangotan rituals and whatnot? Like, would that? Like,
Sure, yes. It'll be an aspect
Only-
of Zonkathon's religion that you've succeeded on before. You can roll to see if you know anything about the specific, these specific procedures. Yeah, you're not quite sure. You think either Zonkathon wants his followers to endure pain, or he wants them to cause pain. So you're not familiar with what this ritual would be, but as she starts out, pulling out the dagger and like places it into her hands and seemingly awaiting for someone to take it.
But like actually doing the ritual doesn't really bind you
would
to anything, right?
Sorry?
Like the actual ritual wouldn't bind you to anything or such. So it's more like a thing that.
Depends.
Somebody just likes it.
Using a really special dagger, Monka.
Yeah. Yeah. My would. She's a bit interested in this, She's in the mindset that pain isn't all bad, and she walks up and picks up the dagger and looks at.
She looks at you with a gleeful smile, and says, "Do you wish to bleed yourself or another?"
Not many options in this room. I look to Crow.
There's not a lot of options.
Bleed yourself. I'd walk out.
I bleed others enough. I may as well bleed myself this time. And
okay. Yeah, she leads you to through another door and says, "For acolytes, this is a shared experience, but for newcomers, we allow some privacy." Yeah, and you attempt to undergo this abolition or ablution. Can you roll me a religion? What?
Secret or
Open.
open?
Do it open.
Okay. Public roll. I'll use a hero point.
Oh.
Okay.
Not got that many. Okay.
15.
Yes, you bleed yourself, and you cut with the serrated dirk. It stings as like you drag it along your skin. Like you're not sure like of like how like if there's any like specific mark you're required to like cut yourself into, but as you're doing this, Igavka looks at you with like a very enthusiastic expression. Says, "Yes, see you. You know the glory that comes with pain."
Yeah, Maya is she's not like shaken. It's like very steady, like drawing down the blade, and with a bit of a toothy smile as she does. Not really seemingly clearly feeling it, but not disturbed.
All right. I'm back in the other room. Oh, sorry.
Yeah, can I like as I do like give a quick glance around the room? What kind of if there's anything of note within this back
Sure.
room?
Give me a perception check.
Yes.
Meanwhile, back in the other room, the other two acolytes, one of them says, "Amongst you, there are a few individuals that lack the capability." She kind of like almost spits the words. "But, of course, we offer ourselves in the name of Sun Cthulhu. Perform the proper rituals on us."
Why?
Anyone. Of course, to satisfy the Master of Pain. To know that this blood is washed away. And the body is cleansed.
Why would we do it to you? Why not to yourself?
To show that you're willing to follow the path.
The path is to inflict pain on others.
And yourself. One is never so alive. She kind of stresses the word as when they're experiencing misery. Okay. Austin shakes his head. Anyone else wish to partake?
Sorry.
Crow should be considering, but doesn't seem to act.
Okay. Yeah, you sense some disappointment that no one's taken them up on their offer, but as Mai and Igavka come back after a short time, a few minutes, you see that Mai is bleeding from various wounds, but still stealing herself. Yeah, the acolytes do accept the refusal and seemingly
Did I
without
take any points of damage from this, by the way? Check up.
Yes,
Selfish shield myself.
the knife does cut deep, but not like any mortal wound or anything. You only take two piercing damage.
Okay. I guess it would still Because I'm imagining kind of Selfish Shield would like still, because it doesn't stop them from cutting my. It's more like stopping the.
Well, the
persistent
process of like using Selfish Shield, I imagine, is quite involved, where you like
Oh
call
yeah,
your energy and protect
sure.
yourself.
I'll take the 2 damage.
Alright.
Real suck when you dive to 2 damage.
But before you leave, my Igavka does take one of the buckets of water and cleanse the wounds, and you see the blood like spills down to the ground and like starts washing away towards some grates into the floor. All right, and yeah, after this you are escorted once again through the temple, and you start hearing vague at first, but like as you get deeper into the temple and also you sense that you're going underground, start coming from various directions of various rooms, you start hearing like screams. Right, yeah, and as you are led down deeper into the bowels of the empty thresholds, you are eventually you find yourself walking in through what is clearly to be a dining chamber. You see on one end, before you enter through the doors of the dining chamber, you see halls, like the left hall leading to the what appears to be their living quarters of the acolytes. In the hallway, you see like another like whimpering acolyte like huddled in the corner, and they're whimpering as they seem to be engrossed in some personal worship as they're dragging another knife across their chest. Yeah, and as you're led through to the door, what you assume to be Ortegar's quarters, you find yourself in the dining room with a square table, a very gothy vibe towards the whole setting. You know, like a dark tablecloth with skulls on it, and sitting on the opposite end is a humanoid man looking quite a bit of a somber expression on his face. You see his forehead and skull, he's bald, is like covered in scars and markings, and he's wearing simple robes, differing himself from the acolytes that are mostly wearing like dark leather.
Okay, not too crazy.
Yeah, okay. Well, that's crazy. Very simple.
Yeah, he seems, quite normal, all things considered. And
I like most of the people here living, like the worshippers here. All the acolytes.
Yeah, as you take note of that, yeah, you do in fact notice that most of the acolytes are living. In fact, you've only seen like one zombie dressed in the robes of Zonkathon. The rest all seem to be like alive, which is quite strange for Gap and Grey Dirge. Yes, but as what you assume to be Ortegar stands up, he greets you, says, thank you for accepting my invitation. Please do sit. And he motions you towards the other dining chairs. Okay, yeah, you see on the table sitting there is a large platter. And as you guys sit down, he motions for Yigevka, who is still behind you, to uncover it. On the platter is like a large arachnid, like covering most of it, so it would be like about this big. And
are they like living arachnids or dead?
Yeah, it's like it seems to be living, but several of its limbs have been like torn off, and like are still like trembling on the platter next to it. After a few seconds of like staring at it, Ortegar motions for it to be taken away, and Yigevka like takes the platter and takes it out of the room. Ortegar, you see him like sitting back down, and he's wiping down a silver spoon he was probably using on the black cloth, and he's like carefully arranging it so it's back neatly in place. And then he he puts his attention back onto you and says, "Now, please, if you don't mind, introduce yourselves."
I am Crow.
Osteo.
Walker. Ghost Walker or Walker. Either way works.
My will do for me.
I am Ordegar Stitched Skull, the head priest of the Dark Prince. It is a pleasure to meet you. If I may.
Is he like the head priest of this is the head priest a title that's like given to a regional head priest, or is he like a head priest of the whole game?
You know enough about the religion that Zonkathon is usually not openly worshipped, only in very specific places like Gab is he worshipped, or where you're from. So he's probably, you assume him to be the head priest of at least a large part of this area, possibly even the continents. And he says, "I have personal curiosity. Before we begin dinner, or as we begin dinner, may I ask each one of you your story? How you got the Great Urge, and why you are here?"
Well, my story is nothing to be hidden. Mostly, I'm a good traveler. Been to a lot of the inner sea region, seen many things. In the end, I decided now to settle on Geb, as it's one of the most accepting places for my kin.
Indeed, and that have found themselves a home here. It is, however, unfortunate that they cannot truly experience the glory that is Zonkathon. They have lost that gift.
Well, my kin being between the quick and the undead can experience that, but we are nevertheless treated more as dead than living. Yeah.
Yeah, so and as you're talking, you see various acolytes serving foods, the meals. You see like generous portions on similar platters that you saw before. The platters themselves are decorated with like gruesome scenes of dismemberment, but the food itself it's actually quite normal. Like you see bird stuff with various herbs, you see minced beef, roasted vegetables. And like even like desserts, like various pastries.
I mean, a lot of barbarians. Pastry.
Yeah, and as you're talking, Crow, Osagar grabs a carafe of wine, and he's going around silently asking if people wish to share.
I'll accept.
Okay. He offers both of you also on a walker. Okay. You you wait.
It takes too long to be able to drink.
I don't want to interrupt Crow's story as I actually speaking.
All right. Yes. He sits back down and says, "Thank you for your story." He looks at Mai and says, "How about you?"
Yes, not much to say, really. I lived in the outskirts of the Axel Woods for a while. After that, in both fortune and misfortune, I happened upon Avram Bloodoath.
I've
And
heard the name.
you can see the results.
See. Yeah, you regard you for a moment to see if you have anything else to add.
I wasn't much accepted within his presence after he did this to me, so Grey Dirt was the closest settlement nearby. The Axel Woods didn't give me enough protection from the light.
There is a darkness that dwells there.
There is. Yet the sun has its way to still be above, to still cover it with its rays, enough to
See the
cause
shade.
inconvenience.
I see.
You may seek the shade, but a settlement offers more freedom in the lighter day, in the lighter hours.
And what of you? He looks at you, Walker, and says, "How long have you lost your body?"
It's been a bit, not that long. It was half a year, something like that. Yeah.
So the loss
Quite
is still
tragic.
fresh.
Oh yeah, yeah. Not as fresh as it was, but getting used to it now, slowly, surely.
But that would be a shame. Do not let yourself go of that aching, that agony about yourself. It's what binds you. It's what Zonkothon gifts you.
Sure. Say so. If Zonkothon says so.
He bows his head with a warm smile, and he says, "And of your life before, please tell me in short, if you can."
In short, lived in Absalom, got betrayed, traveling here, died, and here we are.
And you, the one without flesh. You're liking a little bit more than flesh.
Wait. Yeah.
Yeah, no, he's talking. He's
Yeah, that's why I didn't. That's why I said something else. I didn't pick up.
Oh.
I awoke.
Is that all? And why did you come here then?
Found it.
Sorry.
Why not here?
Apathy is unwelcome. Is there nothing you long for?
No, why?
You wish knowledge of why you exist. I suppose there is discomfort in that. The torture of not knowing. Hold on to that feeling if you can as well. Know what it is to miss, to have a piece of yourself missing. But it would be a shame for you to find it and be complete. What else would there be?
Out with us.
When the Dark Prince believes there's not more pain to experience, I suppose it is everyone's time to experience bliss in heaven. Now, I, for myself, I grew up here. I do not much know about the ones that raised me. They died when I was young. To malady or crime, I do not know. It's of no importance. Life is defined by loss, and it set me on a path of greater understanding about the world and my role in it. And for that I consider myself fortunate, and, insomuch as my faith permits it, happy. And I thank you for your stories. I sense on the outskirts the struggle, the hurt, and the affliction. Is there anything you wish to know of me? Anything I can help you with? Any topics you would like to discuss while we dine?
Well, there is the matter I'm sure you have heard of us bringing in one of your former acolytes' body, and we have
Indeed,
discovered on that.
I was informed. I know of this particular acolyte. His name was Menatkash. I don't know why he visited your manor, and I do not know how he ended up dead. You say it was due to an infection. Is this correct?
Well,
Stone Fairy?
Skull
What I
Fairy.
understood. Skull Fairy, sorry.
There's infection of a sort, I guess. It's a little bit different due to its magical nature. I guess you could call it that.
Well, in that case, I hope his final moments were filled with agony, as he so wished.
That is most certain. Do you know
I-
what he was involved with? What are such matters?
I'm unsure. He was a devout follower of Zonkathon, of course. But I see no reason he would have interest in whatever lies in your manor. Do you?
Did we find any, we didn't figure out any religious significance to the altar that he died next to, right? Like in the room?
No, it seems very old and almost like, yeah, very simple. You actually believe it is unrelated to Zonkathon's teachings. Can everybody, having said their piece, and while we're having this conversation, can everybody roll me a diplomacy check?
Okay, but just to make impression.
Yeah, just to make an impression, exactly.
Oh no, I saw the 19. But no. And
Maybe I'll use the hero. Maybe I'll use the hero. Maybe I'll use the hero.
Actually, I'll just
Actually,
mention
point. At least a
that.
cure point. That's,
Gotta
otherwise,
use
Yeah,
these
that's
up,
a
especially
good
about to
spend.
end, right?
Yeah, this is a good
Jacko,
place
can I
to
have a
use
hero
your
point for
Ah,
doing
that's much
the
better.
thing?
oh, much better.
You know
Oh
what?
my God,
that
no,
makes
it's
sense. Good
Wait,
on
how
you,
can
Maya.
you?
Have a
Oh,
hero point.
how can
I'm
you
not gonna
like
use
use
it
the hero
now, but,
point
you
like
know.
you
You
did?
can right click, reroll with hero point.
Oh, interesting. Okay,
I never knew
At
this.
19 out of 20 is not too bad.
19 out of 20. Okay, cool. The question was there if you guys knew of anything, of any reason he could be there.
Okay, yeah. He was... he was within a relatively secret room in the... wasn't too well hidden within the manor. Was a unremarkable altar within the chamber where he died, but it seemed not particularly marked to any specific god. Definitely not to your own.
Perhaps he was not as devout as I previously assumed. It is no matter. He has left our temple for a long time now.
He did seem to have died within a year or two from the body.
Indeed. Well, that's... I believe that is roughly equivalent to when we last saw of him.
Would have been strange if we've seen him since.
Well, in these lands, individuals have a tendency to return, however unfortunate their choice may be.
Fair enough. Strange he didn't.
Not too strange, considering the circumstances of his death.
I mean, spontaneous recombustion of a person. Sometimes happens,
I don't know the specifics of the skull, what a skull fairy actually does to you. I do wonder if it's possible.
But still, he could have come back as a ghost. You don't need a body to be. I think it's actually a prerequisite of being.
Ghosts would make most sense of the undead, considering unfinished business possibly, dying of such
You need to be
conditions.
quite desperate to finish your business to become a ghost, if I'm not incorrect. Doesn't really sound like something your order would generally have, to be so opposed to their final moments.
Indeed, we welcome the darkness.
Even if it wasn't...
Would you not fear the dismissal of the chance of pain?
Of course, it is a shame to needlessly end your life. The road must be filled with spikes. But should your end come, we can only wish it to be full of stinging. It is rare for one to choose to retain dignity in life and death than to seek the all too common embrace of undeath. Which is why I truly respect our mutual friends, Master Aldoli, to be a bloodlord and maintaining her vitality. It is respectable. Also, her choice of food as he takes a bite.
Now, Wadaga, I do believe that you had your own purposes for your own topics of conversation that you had in mind when you invited us, no?
Information sharing, something akin to that.
Of course. Yeah, so as the conversation proceeds, those of you who can, do you partake in dinner, I assume?
No, of course.
Yep.
Okay. Yeah, it's quite nice. He himself, once you ask this question, he takes one more like bite, like closing his eyes, seemingly to like really take in the enjoyment, and then he returns to his napkin and like cleans himself, and then like almost like methodically straightens himself as he clears his throat while like massaging his temples. He says, "Later, I must pay for the pleasure this meal has brought me. But for now, you are correct, so we have important matters to discuss." He snaps open his eyes and says, "I recently learned of an apparent plot to introduce some strange substance, poisons perhaps, to Gab's food supply. This plot involves not just any remote farm where the food would undoubtedly be shipped overseas and be of no concern of mine, but it is a farm that supplies Great Earth itself, including this temple. I assume you all know of which one I speak, of course."
Naturally.
Most likely.
Well, though to be honest, those poisons in particular just seems like something your people would enjoy. They only seem to give pain, not death.
Perhaps, but this plot, it threatens the living of the city, a group I dearly wish to protect. Even if they do not follow our teachings, they might in the future. But yes, I have a particular confession to make, as I alluded to in my notes. Because word of this plot did not reach me by way of the Bloodlords. I learned this from a member of my own congregation. You see, it is difficult for our worshippers to keep secrets from us. My acolytes are quite well trained, and it's easy to recognize when one of our own has grown accustomed to our ministrations and requires extra attention. One such congregant is a man named Dakramat, who is also a member of a gang here in Great Earth called the Bone Shards. We have long known that he works with this particular group of ruffians, but it did not concern us. It is a pathetic band, little more than a collection of bandits unworthy of our attention, or so I assumed at least. But it seems that this group has a new leader. But as Dakramat wasn't in the inner circle, he couldn't provide any details, even under intense interrogation. Our modest congregation consists mostly of living people, and there are many other quick across Great Earth. So, as I said, we have to protect them. It is no trifling matter to threaten genocide. So when word of what had happened reached me, it was clear that this is a plot against Gab's living residents, at least. I try to keep myself and the empty Treshold insulated from schemes such as these, and I appreciate external assistance with this investigation. Thus,
And that is why you speak to us instead of taking this information straight to the Bloodlord, is it?
of course, while I treasure her friendship, I attempt to remain unaffiliated with the Bloodlords. Many of the others are more judgmental. Yes, I invited you here for aid. The bone shards are somehow connected to what has happened. And what might yet happen if no one acts. As such, I can tell you where their hideout is. If you go, I urge you to try not to kill all of them. If they have information on this plot, we ought to learn who is involved. Do you wish to aid the empty threshold?
Something we should probably discuss among ourselves before we make an
What
open
would you
decision.
give me?
And that is a fair point. What do we get?
Do I gain the knowledge I desire?
The teachings of the Prince of Pain focus on the living. However, we do deal with darkness. If you accept, I can instruct my acolytes to teach you some of these ways. Are you capable of calling upon the occult? He nods at you. Any of the others?
The Pale Princess does not do charity.
Monetary compensation is satisfactory. All things so that can be turned into such.
We are a humble temple. We do not often get donations. Monetary compensation is not for us to come by.
Gold is a means to an end. I do wonder what you could offer me. Offer us. The knowledge, Oscan. The knowledge is, I believe, the only something Ostian seeks.
Yes. The rest of us are Yuko.
I will have to mediate on this. Perhaps I can discuss this with Master Adoli. He is more in tune with the material.
I believe a raid would give me enough enjoyment to wait for the exact promise of payment. Though I will expect it in due time.
I agree with her on this matter.
I see.
What do you seek, Walker? Is there something you need?
I don't know. I haven't fully decided. I mean, power is good. But working for it, that's.
There are various magical incantations we utilize. Those that give you power. If you have the ability, I can instruct you. Walker, are you thinking it over?
You want to learn spells, Walker? Are you a cult magic as well? Or what kind of magic is your class?
Divine.
Oh yeah, divine, because you have
I
the
could have
first
said
one.
Walker, well, he's taking so long. I joined this guy staring at Walker.
Mr. Moment there. What is this for? Like, what does he want from like?
It's just to attack a hideout from.
Yeah, he wants us to attack a hideout and keep some of them alive so they can be interrogated for more information about
to
about
do
the
with
group.
also the attack on the farm. So
Yeah.
I mean, out of game, also if you want to go with the Blood Lord, we would also gain information from this, which should probably also use in negotiating with her, right?
Yeah. So ultimately, it's about the farm again, with the poisoning. So yeah.
Yeah, everything's about that.
Yeah. So we want to do it, but at the same time, we want to get as much from him as possible.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, you know, good starting point.
I see. Well then, let one of my acolytes show you. Yeah, and he calls for a couple acolytes actually, and one of them is carrying a piece of parchment, and as he lays it on the table, you can see like a very simple map of part of Greydirt that's looks to be leading towards a particular place, and he calls out that this is where the hideout was said to be. And then
Which
he
part
speaks.
Which part of Greydirt does it seem to be?
It's in the meat markets.
Okay.
So further.
Well, it makes sense that it would be there. So always a bit. Always feels like people are hiding something when you walk through that place.
Or hiding themselves. Now I will meditate on this reward you seek. However, I wish to further empathize that the greatest gifts one can seek is that of pure and endless. And then he stands up and says, please, for those of you that can cast, let me show you the dark ways.
Now slowly and stand up.
Okay. Yeah, sorry, Ordegar leads you to another room. This is more like a common or like a more public ritual room. And with the help of the acolytes, yeah, they teach you some spells. Now, if I can ask Ostion and Walker, you're the two spellcasters in this party. Is there any particular like area of expertise or like area you wish to focus on with spellcasting?
I'm most comfortable with things like kind of manipulate objects physically, right? Like telekinetic things, but then also I guess stuff that kind of is like I don't expect them to have something directly relevant, but maybe stuff which is still kind of manipulating physical matter in some way. How it does
Okay.
that, not necessarily, but probably more so than like creating explosions, or anything like that, maybe more like interacting with stuff that is already existing in the. If you know that what I kind of mean.
I think it's pretty obvious what happens.
He's a
I
summoner.
don't know. If you're asking more
Necromancy
school, I can
some
think of
shit.
something, but I don't know.
No, that makes sense. And what about you?
Yeah, just necromancy and summoning kind of stuff, mostly. Yeah.
Okay.
Maybe not the character fully yet, wanting to, but getting to wanting a massive one.
Mm-hmm.
But the character's
Yeah,
decision hasn't quite there yet.
that comes through in your wish, even though the words don't necessarily speak it. Ocean, as you express the way you usually, utilize your magic, he says, the lack of focus on the material extends to our utilizing of the dark arts. The closest I can teach you is the destruction of lights in favor of darkness. You would be able to remove light that was granted by the divine and other such acts, and use it as Onkathon would wish it.
Interesting what spell you're actually talking about.
As you think it
kinda
over,
yeah.
oh sorry,
Yeah. No, go
yeah.
on.
As you think it over, he looks at your walker and says, "In these lands, the undead are numerous. Power over them is, however, quite feasible. We utilize this shadow to control them. I can show you how." Okay. Also, yeah, like with this description, do you refuse or do you accept?
Sure, why not? I just nod slowly.
Okay.
Can't be bad.
Yeah, let
Go
me.
wrong.
Yeah, so it's this process takes a little while, about an hour total. Micro, you are welcome to stay or leave, whatever is your preference.
Mai would leave. Like the first moment she feels it would be socially acceptable to leave, she leaves.
Yeah, Crow would also join Maya on that.
Okay.
He doesn't feel this place is any of any interest right now.
Okay,
He
you
would
excuse
take
yourselves.
like his way out in a more like a go away the whole time, but take it slow and have a look have a good look around.
All right. Yes, you guys excuse
Maya
yourselves.
fucking leaves.
And yeah, Maya, you storm out. It's been a while. You spent some more time, now unfettered. You can roll me an investigation if you wish to take a look around as you go for the door.
What kind of area was the meat market?
It was a human living zone.
Yeah, most of the human living.
You can go into these things and look at it. It's in like.
Oh yeah, you're
yeah.
right.
There's information there.
Yeah, we mark as human area.
No, yeah. The only thing you see, you come upon a hallway with quite large double doors that you didn't quite spot the first time. And as you can look into the double doors that are open, you see a very large open hall that I assume to be the worship hall. And there's like on the other hand, there's like a stone statue that you believe to be like Zonkathon symbolified or like personified, but the hall itself is currently empty. You see that the Zonkathon, his head is like a skull with like two chains like coming out of the eye sockets. But other than that, you don't notice anything in
Yeah,
particular.
Crow. After seeing that, Crow kind of reacts to something. I mean, there's no one to see, but Crow has some kind of reaction to it, like of not liking it all, and thus then hurries pays out.
All right. Yes, and in the meantime, Ossian and Walker, you guys go through the dark teachings.
Like, my god is like the polar fucking opposite of their god, even though they're both evil.
Yeah, it's interesting.
Like,
how
mine is
it's,
all about like indulging in pleasure and in like access, and making sure to resurrect as undead in when they die, after you die, and they are the polar opposite, just pain and torment, and just fucking die when you die. It's like,
All right. Yeah. So I'm putting the spell that you guys learn on the spell list. Like, you won't be able to cast it yet until you reach the level, of course. But it is on your list, and it doesn't count towards your like other known spells. Sorry.
Yeah, it doesn't count towards like the repertoire number.
Yeah. Exactly. Like yeah. So you can have a read through. Yes, and after the proceedings with Sweat and some of the acolytes, have chosen to use a ritual as an excuse to bloody themselves yet again. You guys are escorted out of the temples. Orlegar saying his farewells for now.
At some point during it, we don't have up here, but I would like ask him if in my like spooky voice, if there would be just the potential for further teachings, like in the future.
I have enjoyed the company. It is not often those of undeath can appreciate our ways. However, the empty thresholds belongs to the Midnight Lord. If you wish further teachings, I must ask for you to become devout.
Yeah, I nod slowly, but don't say anything. Then just see I leave.
Okay. All right. Yes, and as you guys conclude this meeting and dinner with the head priest, you head out of the temple back into Great Urge, and let's end there.
Yep.
11:45. Man, that ran longer than I thought. My apologies.
No, it was fun.
It's good. Good stuff. Good stuff.
Cool.
Good stuff. Oh man.
A random observation I made, like, I don't know if any of you can for quite possible.
Stop the screaming, Jacko. Stop the screaming.
The screaming.
All right, yeah. You guys exit. Yeah.
The pool on the top map is in the same spot as the pool on the underground.
Pool on the what?
Oh, you mean the
outside
water?
Thingy.
Yeah,
It's
the
on the
water
same
pool?
spot.
Whoa.
Whoa.
Yeah, I just had a random thought and
God.
went between, did measured from the stairs, and yeah, it's the same spot.
Man, Walker's a genius.
Walker figured some.
And they're both 25 feet
Walker
wide.
was so bored that one day when he was just flying around outside for like 20 hours, Just like,
Yeah, I was just
there
one day, I
that
was just
pool
like
is
flying.
again.
I was like, this is an interesting location. Let me just go down.
Walker did say that he was gonna figure
Maybe
it out.
it's the key.
Figure it out. Figure it out.
What a genius.
It's actually the pond that's the scrying pool all along.
Alright, good stuff, guys.
Good.
Yeah, thanks for that.
Catch you boys later.
See ya.
Good night.
Goodbye.
Good night.